Japan is made up of a string of islands, and the result is a diverse landscape with some of its most scenic views found in the country's 34 national parks. In this episode, we'll introduce one of these national parks, meet the people that live and work there, enjoy the seasonal views that have been preserved through their efforts, and discover the wonders of Japan's national parks. Here to enjoy autumn in a national park is reporter Dean Newcomb from the UK. His destination today is Daisen-Oki National Park in the west of mainland Japan. The national park contains islands with dynamic views, a peninsula with numerous shrines and historical sites, mountains with excellent views of the surrounding grasslands, and a mountain range that has inspired the faithful since ancient times. The area has been the setting for many Japanese myths. Dean first headed to Nishinoshima, a part of the Oki Islands. His guide is Kureo Yanagita. All of Japan's national parks are protected by park rangers, and he's in charge of this area.
ここが西之島の観光協会。
ようこそ西之島へ。
こんにちは。
こんにちは。
Do you speak English?
I do. How can I help?
Really? So
Maya Lee, who moved here from New Zealand, gave them her recommendations.
Or Matengai Cliff
Matengai Cliff.
and Kuniga Bay. This place was the reason why it's nominated as part of national park.
Taking her advice, Dean headed to Nishinoshima's other port on a rental bike. And this is what he came for. Oki Island's famous sightseeing boats are the perfect way to enjoy some of its best views.
はい、ご乗船のお客様、こんにちは。本日は沖ノ島道前をお訪ねくださいまして誠にありがとうございます。はい、船の前方をご覧くださいませ。一段と小さな水路へと入ってまいりました。沖ではただ一つの運河、船引き運河でございます。
A characteristic of national parks in Japan is that they contain towns where people live and work.
船の左手ご覧くださいませ。日本一の海食断崖摩天崖でございます。高さが257メートル。
Eroded by rough waves and wind from the Sea of Japan over the course of 6 million years, the sheer scale of this cliff is breathtaking. The Oki Islands' geohistory led them to be designated a UNESCO Global Geopark.
はい、そして船の左手前方、ちょうど家のような形をした島が見えてまいりました。
The boat drew up to one of the curiously shaped rock formations that the islands are known for.
この辺りに竜宮の乙姫様が神に乗って現れたという伝説から乙姫御殿と呼ばれております。
This is a great boat trip. He's stopping at so many different locations and there's so many different rock formations and each one have their own unique name and story attached to it.
The captain has been conducting boat tours for about 10 years.
自分はもう本当にこの島が好きなんです。ここで生まれて育っているので、日本一、世界一だと思って、それを皆さんに伝えたくて、この船のガイドをしてますね。摩天崖さっき海から見たんですけど、はい、今度はトレッキング最高に楽しいと思いますので、行ってみてください。
Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna go. Thank you so much.
はい、どうもありがとうございました。
Bye bye.
Thank you.
On his way to Matengai Cliff, Dean met a family from France.
Why you came here?
I read about around Matsue and I found Oki Island.
Oki Islands?
She decided.
She decided, all right.
It was nature and I wanted to discover another part of Japan.
Having seen the cliffs from below, Dean is now on his way to see them from above. Joining him is Takayuki Fukuda, an official UNESCO Global Geopark guide, and park ranger Kureo Yanagita, who he met earlier. Kuniga Bay lies about 2.5 kilometers downhill from Matengai Cliff.
The land formation is quite unique. It is actually caldera.
Nishinoshima and the two islands next to it make up the Daisen Islands. The region is the product of extensive volcanic activity that took place some 6 million years ago. When the volcanic chambers collapsed, the Daisen Islands were left in a circle around it.
After that, the wave or wind eroded this island, so it's connected to the sea. So now, it's 3 islands now.
And the scale of this is huge, right?
Yeah.
They headed to the top of the cliff that Dean had seen from below on the sightseeing boat.
But you can't see.
From here, it's a sheer drop down to the ocean below.
And pretty much off the edge of here, it just goes straight down?
Yeah. So before, maybe around 5 million or 6 million years ago, it's a land like this and the sea like this.
Mm-hmm.
But you feel the strong wind.
Sure.
And the waves, so eroded, so became like that. This part's gonna be heavy,
Oh,
so that's why it's collapse. Gonna be very steep,
I see.
so like that.
Matengai Cliff stands as a witness to the memories of the land.
It's like a museum.
Yeah. Really. Very nice.
Very nice.
Let's go.
Let's go. Wow. So windy today.
It's not always like this?
During the trek, Dean noticed something curious.
I was wondering when we walk around, especially at the top, there's a lot of cows.
Yeah.
You said there was horses.
Yeah.
Where are these? Are they owned by somebody, or are they just free to walk around?
Yeah, someone owned, but because they have, actually this area was the farming area.
On Nishinoshima, there are currently about 580 head of cattle, not including calves. They arrived at a viewpoint where Matengai Cliff could be seen in all its glory.
Yeah, you're right. Like that's a
good place.
That's the view, huh? I think it's also something that is hard to only see in pictures. You really have to feel it. I would invite you to maybe come and try the same thing.
And there was another scenic spot not too far away.
So beautiful.
This is Tsutenkyo Arch. Erosion caused a cave to collapse, leaving only the entrance and producing this arch where you can see the rock layers.
And then the arch itself consists of all these different, yellows, grays, and reds. It's quite an amazing view.
They then headed to the southwestern part of the island, where the ruins of stone walls remained.
牧旗の薪と薪を区切っていた石垣の跡地になります。
Here on Nishinoshima, land was sectioned off with stone walls for a farming method called makihata, where crop farming and livestock grazing were rotated in a cycle. The islanders developed their own farming system to grow crops on the hilly terrain and less than fertile land.
今は本土からご飯運んできたりできるので、昔の暮らしと文化がつながってた跡になります。
なるほど。
The freely grazing cattle are also a reminder of that culture. They met with cattle herders. Their herd grazed peacefully a short distance away.
自分のところの牛は主人の声を分かっとって呼ぶと来るんで可愛くなるんです。もう牛に名前つけてますんで。
Do they all have names?
ついています。
Wow, amazing.
可愛いと、あと牛で生活すらないといけないから大切に飼っておりますわって。
牛馬がおってこう草食べてくれるんで自然がそのまま保てるけど、それがないとやぶになって牛がおってこそこういう綺麗な装置ができるんですよ。
The picturesque landscape is the result of a collaboration between nature, people, and animals. And it's one that captivates those who visit. Leaving Nishinoshima, they headed to the mainland side of Shimane Peninsula. On the east end of the peninsula is Mihonoseki. The quaint fishing village and its old streets retain the charm of bygone days.
Hey, you can see my guides arrived.
おはようございます。
おはようございます。
よろしくお願いします。
His guides are Yutaka Sumiyoshi and Nozomi Shionome.
江戸時代の頃に船が波が荒かったり風が強かったりする、その逃げ込む港としてこの三保関が栄えたんですね。
This street has been here for close to 2 centuries. It leads to the Miho Shrine, which is even older, dating back to the 8th century.
神社の朝は気持ちいいですよね。空気がね。本当に。
People have gathered to watch asamike, the morning ritual in which offerings of food are made. This ritual is performed every morning to thank the deities for their protection and blessing.
それをやっている神社はもうここだけじゃないかと言われるぐらい、でそれが近くから見れるっていうのがここの素敵なとこですね。
そうですよね。
はい。
Mihonoseki is also known for its squid fishing industry.
すごいね。
イカが。
わお。
今朝こうかけてました。
You know when you live by the sea, when you see a Japanese washing line, and instead of having clothes, you have right Japanese washing line, yeah. And instead of having clothes, you have dried squid, or drying squid.
Next, they headed to the area around Mount Sanbae, which is southwest of Shimane Peninsula and famous for its autumn colors. The unique landscape created by the majestic mountain and the grasslands beneath it led to its inclusion in Daisen-Oki National Park.
三瓶山っていうのは6個のああいう峰が丸を描くように並んでいて、それを全部まとめて三瓶山っていうふうに言っているんですね。でここは浮布の池と呼ばれている場所で、天気がいい日には三瓶山が水面に映って逆さ三瓶を見ることもできます。
すごい。
はい。
They visited the Shimane Nature Museum of Mount Sanbae to get a first-hand glimpse into the mountain's history. All national parks in Japan have a visitor center, and this facility fills that role.
今ちょっとずつ三瓶も紅葉が始まって、もみじとかも色をちょっとずつ今変えていますね。
いいね。
はい。
Of particular interest here is an exhibit that transports visitors to Mount Sanbae's last eruption some 4,000 years ago.
実はこの写真が1枚残ってたので、研究者の人がずっと発掘の調査を何年も何年もかけてされたんですね。そうするとちょっとこの後見ていただく大きな木が発見されたっていう。でこれが地下から掘り出してきた本物です。本物です。すごい。火山の噴火で埋もれて4000年間地下でずっと眠っていて。
I would guess if you found this tree of this scale, you could maybe assume that there would be many more all over this area.
その通りで、もう少し広い範囲を実は掘っていて、こういう立った木が何本も出てきました。世界中で見てもほとんどない。なのでとっても貴重だということで国の天然記念物にも指定されています。
They headed to another exhibit.
埋もれてる木の切ったものなんですけど、外は黒いけど中はもう木のまんま。でよかったらちょっとこの割れ目を匂ってもらったら。杉の香りが、そうだから生きてる木みたいな香りがしますよね。
いや本当にそう。
不思議ですよね。
なんか新しい建物と一緒。I'm almost shocked to be able to see this today.
A large torii marks the way to Sanputsuji Temple, a historical site in the national park where the entire mountain is used in training. And its symbol is Nageire Doho, an inner sanctuary built into an indent on the face of a cliff. No one knows how it was made, and this mysterious structure was Dean's next destination.
I've only just arrived and already the atmosphere just feels amazing here.
His guide is Ryojun Yoneda, the assistant head priest.
今この和下というものをつけていただきました。これをつけていただいて修行僧の一人として登っていただく。それで初めて入山の許可が出る場所であります。
The trip to the hidden sanctuary requires an awareness of nature's harshness and the attuning of one's senses. Once past the gate and bridge, the training trail began.
日本の本来の思想というのは自然のものに全て命が宿る、全て神様が宿っている。つまり山の中に入って戻ってくるということは、その中で五感、いわゆる5つの感覚、綺麗なものを見る、それから聞こえてくるものは木々のざわめきであったり、それから鳥の虫の声、匂いも草木や土の匂い、触るものも天然のもの。山というものに集中をしないといけない。一つのことに集中するというのは善と同じ効果。五感プラス心、つまり六根が清められる、そういった行をすること、それが日本の登山なんですね。
From this point, Dean will take part in Kake Nembutsu, a chant to cleanse the mind and soul.
頑張ります。はい、行きましょう。では、ケネン仏。サンゲサンゲ。サンゲサンゲ。六根少女。六根少女。サンゲサンゲ。サンゲサンゲ。六根少女。六根少女。はい。
After climbing a large boulder using a single chain, they arrived at the first building, Monjudo Hall.
じゃあちょっと座って休憩をしましょう。こ
こでいいですか。
はい。この文字を座っていただいて、人間は自然のね、いろんな恵みをいただきながら生活してきたんだなっていうのをね、感じていただければなというふうに思いますね。
the second building, Jizodo Hall, they met a couple from Singapore.
So, particularly, was there anything here that kind of stood out to you?
Going up the mountains, right, challenging ourselves.
Fulfilling.
Just for the view, I think it'd be spectacular.
Yeah. When we saw the view, everything was worth it.
Right.
Yes, it was.
More to come.
Yes,
that's right.
Yeah.
こちらがね、小ロード、また加熱軌道というふうにもね呼ばれています。今で言ったら人の家に行ってチャイム、こんにちはと一緒。これから入りますよっていうのを天に向かって音を立てるんですよ。
Next, they walked atop boulders named Umanose, back of a horse, and Ushinose, back of a cow. After passing behind Kanondo Hall, it finally came into view.
こちらが弥徳山三仏寺奥の院である国宝投げ入れ堂ですね。誰がどうやって作ったのかというのが分かっていないということで、園の行者が麓山の下から不思議な力で投げ入れて作ったというふうな伝説が生まれて投げ入れ堂と呼ばれるようになったんですね。
To throw something. Was that? I don't know if it was true or not, but that's.
What is true, though, is that the temperature and humidity conditions are just right, keeping the masterpiece intact for an estimated 1,000 years.
あくまでこれも自然の一つなんですよっていう日本本来の自然と共存共栄というものをこの建物によって表現をしたというふうに言われております。
It's not just the view that's special, it's everything that makes everything along the way that makes it special. We get to see and overcome so many different points on the trail and we learn from that experience. And then we finally reach this point and that makes this all the more rewarding, I think.
Dean's last stop was Mount Daisen. Towering 1,729 meters high, it has a graceful form similar to Mount Fuji. The awe that it inspires has made it an object of worship. Located at the foot of the mountain, Daisenji Temple and Ogamiyama Shrine have welcomed the faithful for centuries. We visited Ogamiyama Shrine to learn more about the mountain.
麓から見れば霊験新たかな全ての恵みをいただけるっていうお山だと思います。だから山自体を大切にしているということが一番だと思いますね。
Good morning. Good morning.
Accompanying Dean on his climb are Kaori Tsujita and Nobuhiro Ito, and they recommended bringing one of the stones placed here. They said that the reason will be made apparent at the summit.
Shall we go?
Let's go. Yeah, let's go.
The trail up to the third station is made up of relatively gentle slopes.
大山はブナ林が広く分布していて、その規模は西日本で最大級と言われています。
他の木はまっすぐ下に根が生えるんですけど、ブナの場合は横に広がって、雨が降ると、こう水をたくさん含んで。
What's more, their fallen leaves serve as a natural rainwater filter.
降った雨が地下水になって人が飲めるまで20年ぐらいかかるんですが、それがこの麓の町の人たちの暮らしを支えています。
On the way, they met a local celebrity. He's famous for his number of climbs.
993回、あと7回で1000回です。
Have you ever met anybody who has climbed 1,000 times?
もうたくさんおられます、本当に。1000回なんてまだまだ序の口です。
I can't believe that. I think that's amazing.
ああ、散歩みたいなもんですよ。
Not long after, they're treated to a panoramic view.
It's pretty rare to be on a mountain where it gives you such a kind of vast viewpoint. So I can see at least 180 degrees, but probably more. It's nice. Great view. So, down we go. No?
Locals affectionately refer to the mountain as Daisen-san to show their appreciation for the bounty it provides. From this point, the vegetation changes.
ここのほとんどの木が大山キャラボクっていう木です。
ここはキャラボクは日本で最大の面積を誇ってますね。
Is that why we're walking on this boardwalk to protect this plant?
その通りです。
The surface of Mount Daisen is covered by a stone layer that crumbles easily. An increase in climbers some 45 years ago caused the summit to become bare. And that's when the One Tree, One Stone campaign began. With the cooperation of climbers, a united effort was made to transport saplings and rocks to the summit, prevent further erosion, and give back to the mountain. The wooden boardwalk is part of that initiative.
気候も厳しい、雪も降る山頂に設置するのは大変だったと思うんですが、今は拉致化したっていう過去を見る影もないようなほど植生が蘇っているので、木道の役割はすごく大きいと思います。
Yeah, it's a pretty unique feeling, and it actually allows you to see the plant life quite easily, right?
They've reached the summit.
おめでとうございます。Congratulations.
We made it.
You made it.
On like literally the best day, like the weather is just gorgeous and the view is amazing.
And the stones that they carried up the mountain became part of the One Tree, One Stone initiative.
So what a blessing to hike to the top of Mount Daisen and also to be able to take with me one of those rocks, put it on the pile and be part of a conservation effort. You could really feel that everybody here is doing their best to protect Daisen, and then in return you definitely feel that Daisen is giving so much back to the people here.
There are currently 34 national parks in Japan. They're unique not just in their landscapes, but in their display of harmony between people and nature. What's more, Japan's 4 distinct seasons add their own touches and colors. Dramatic landscapes and the soul of Japanese culture, to be at one with nature, can be found here, making it well worth a visit.